Okay, so we're going to talk about walking your way to health. I'm Sharon Moore from Corporate and Community Health Promotion, for those that don't know who I am. And we're going to talk about, first of all, why do we want to do any kind of exercise, walking or anything else? Well, regular physical activity can improve your health and reduce your risk of premature death. So there you go, and I'm done now. Okay. But specifically walking, and walking for only 30 minutes a day. And I'm going to go through all the things that gets you. Lower your risk of heart disease. Can improve your blood pressure by 5 points. Now that could pass your Bravo test, right? 5 points, you can be into the good range. Limits chronic disease. Cut your risk of Alzheimer's in half. Wow, yeah, big one. Limit colon cancer by 40%. Strengthens your legs, hips, quads, and hamstrings. Okay, that's 30 minutes of walking. Now there's more. Increases your attention and decision making. That might come in handy. Alleviates depression and fatigue. And I know how many times I'm too tired to do it. But if you actually get up and do it, all of a sudden you have more energy. Reduces lower back pain. That's so common among so many of us. Keeps your weight in check. Improves your overall fitness. Works your arm and shoulder muscles. 30 minutes does all of that. What else can you do for 30 minutes that gives you that kind of return on your investment of time? So I'll share this with you. What fits your busy schedule better? Exercising, and this is an hour a day, we can change that to 30 minutes a day, or being dead 24 hours a day. Exercise truly is a miracle pill. If all the benefits were available in a pill, it would be the most widely prescribed prescription in the world. It would probably cost a lot of money. Probably be very, very expensive. That doesn't exist, however. That quote comes from Covert Bailey, who was a fitness guru back in the 80s. And he really wasn't a big proponent of walking. He was a runner. And he thought running was the be-all and end-all, and you needed to run for good health. However, I beg to differ. A study was done on 33,060 runners, 15,045 walkers. Just to see, is that true? Do you have to run? Well, moderate intensity walking and vigorous intensity running equals similar reductions: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and coronary heart disease. So I thought that's pretty impressive. You do not have to be a runner. If you like to run, great. But some people have knee issues and just not their thing. So walking, just as good. So how do you start? Well, a good pair of shoes, number one. You need a good pair of shoes. Yeah, around here you can walk in your work shoes, it's fine. But if you're going out on the road, going out in parks, get a good pair of shoes. And replace them. 350 to 500 miles in a pair of shoes is the limit. And of course, if you're over 40 or have a chronic disease, you should check with your doctor first. Hopefully they tell you, yes, go walk. Some more tips. Start out slow if you're not doing anything at all right now. You don't want to go from being a couch potato to going out and walking 5 miles because you probably won't make it. And then you'll get discouraged. So start out slow. Do a 5-minute walk at a slow pace. And speed up for 10 to 20 minutes, and then slow back down for another 5 minutes to cool up. Try that for a while and see how it goes. Also, if you will keep track of your walking, write it on your calendar, the days you walked, how far you walked, how long you walked, and how often you walked. Also, vary your route. We get very used to, in our bodies unfortunately also, get very used to what we're doing, and then you don't reap the same benefits anymore. They kind of go into almost an automatic, they're like, oh yeah, I can do that real easy. It's great that our bodies adapt that way, but it's not so great when you're trying to increase your fitness, build your muscle. So do vary, add some hills. Here, you can add the steps. We have a lot of staircases here. Those are great. Or simply speed up. And of course, winter's coming. Tomorrow's December the 1st, and we know this is coming. But you know, this can be beautiful too. Walking out in the woods, walking out in parks in the wintertime, if you dress for it, it really can be quite beautiful. My husband and I used to do it. We haven't recently. But Oak Openings has some beautiful areas to walk. And when the snow is on the evergreen trees, and it's so quiet, peaceful walking, you might see a deer here or there. It's just really a lovely walk. So don't let it discourage you, but if you absolutely cannot stand the cold weather, then look for somewhere indoors. And of course, we have Walmart. We have here. We have lots of walking in here that you can do. We'll even have more soon, right, Patty? Lots of walking. Of course, you know, where you're going to park, that's another issue. So you can get your walking in. Stay motivated. Fitbits are great for that. If you don't have one, maybe that's on your Christmas list. Pedometers, I know we've given them out here before. It's just something to kind of, you can look at and see what you've done or what you haven't done, and it can be a good motivator. Try to keep your walking up to reach that 10,000 steps a day. That's what we'd like to strive for. You may not get there, that's fine. Again, I go back to that 30 minutes a day. But 10,000 steps can be a goal that you set. Get a walking partner or a dog. If you have a friend you walk with, and you get home at night and you're like, oh, I don't feel like it, but they call you up and, hey, we're going for a walk, you're much more likely to go for that walk because they're counting on you. And of course, if you have a dog, they want to go out. So they can, it can be a good way for you to keep up what you're doing. Or sign up for an upcoming race or charity walk. A lot of the 5Ks have a walk with them. So if you know that in a couple of weeks you're going to be doing this, you're more likely to go out and walk because you want to be able to finish. You don't want to go to that event, sign up, and then poop out on it. So that could be another way to stay motivated. So how much do you need to do? Well, the authorities on this, American College of Sports Medicine, American Heart Association, recommend that for a healthy adult 18 and over, to maintain your health and reduce your risk of chronic disease, you need to do moderately intense cardio, 30 minutes, 5 days a week. So again, we're back to that 30 minutes a day. That's not really hard for most people to get in. Or if it is easier for you to do a more intense cardio, 20 minutes for 3 days a week. So neither of those is that difficult to accomplish. We just have to make it a priority. And then they do also suggest that you do some strength training exercises, 8 to 10 of them, 8 to 12 reps of each. Mostly with walking, you're going to build your lower body muscles and not do a lot with the upper body. So that's where the strength training would come in. And you know, those could be done on alternate days or whatever day works, because walking is basically using the lower body. So there's no reason you can't then do some upper body workout as well. How hard do you need to go? Well, you need to raise your heart rate, break a sweat, but you still need to be able to talk to that walking partner that you have. Be able to not just talk, but carry on a conversation. So not so out of breath that you can't talk with your partner or your dog. Now, the bad news is, if you want to lose weight, it's going to take 60 to 90 minutes of physical activity. 30 minutes a day is going to help you maintain any weight loss that you have, which is a good thing, especially this time of year, where we're going to be tempted by all the goodies. If we can just maintain where we're at, and then maybe in January we work on getting to where we want to be. But it does, weight loss is pretty much 90% what you're eating. The exercise part's for everything else, but to lose weight, it's really about what you're eating. The good news, however, is that you can break up that 30 minutes. You can do 3 10-minute segments a day and still get your 30 minutes in. So you could do your 10 minutes at your break time in the morning. You could take 10 minutes at lunch. You've already got 2/3 of it done. You only need another 10-minute walk when you get home or right after work. So that really does make it easier for you and really kind of takes away your excuses too. Now, I'm not sure this would work though. I'm not sure how you would keep track of 120 15-second walks in your day. So I don't think I'd go take it to quite that extreme, but they got the right idea. The other thing that's important when you're doing this is stretching. Stretching helps you not to have sore muscles when you're finished. So a few simple stretches. Warming up first is really a good idea. You don't want to stretch a cold muscle. So, you know, even if you just stretch after your walk, that's great. You don't want to rock or bounce a stretch, so that you used to maybe see that. You hold the stretch 10 to 20 seconds, but you don't want to feel pain. So you're going to feel something, but pain is not what you want to feel. So just hold it, and you'll get to the point where you know you're stretching that muscle, and that's really all you need to do. Here's 3 basic stretches that are great for anybody who's walking. The calf stretch, very easy to do. The most important part of that is that both of the toes are pointed in the same direction. You don't want your feet going off to the side. That's not going to get a good stretch of that calf muscle. And it's illustrated there. That's the muscle, and you just change legs and stretch the other one. Hamstring muscle, the quadricep muscle, on that one, I would caution you not to put a lot of pressure on your knee. You don't have to bring your foot up to your butt. That person can, but not everyone can. As long as you feel the stretch in the front of the top of the leg, the quadricep, that's all that's necessary. And that might just take bending your leg back, and you may feel it right there, and that's fine. And of course the hamstring, not everyone's that flexible either, if only. But again, you want to feel it in the hamstrings, and that's pretty simple. You just start bending over till you feel it and hold it there. Tight hamstrings and weak stomach muscles account for a lot of low back pain. So if you can get those hamstrings stretched and work on a few core strengthening exercises, you'll get some relief from that low back pain. We sat too much, most of us. So, you're starting your walking program. You do want to be careful that you don't end up with a bigger problem on your hands. So, warning signs, and I think most of you recognize these warning signs of possibly a heart attack, something that you want to get some immediate attention. If you feel any of these things, uncomfortable pressure, fullness, squeezing, pain in your chest, pain radiating toward the neck or arms, feeling dizzy, nauseated, or unable to breathe, then you do need to call 911 and/or get to the ER if you're walking here. And some additional safety tips, especially if you're out walking alone, be sure you have some sort of ID on you, identification. Stuff can happen. Also that you're wearing, if you do have diabetes or an allergy or some condition that, say you pass out and EMS really needs to know that you're allergic to whatever. Carry a cell phone. Best is to walk with a buddy or a dog when possible. If you're out alone, do let someone know. I'm going out for a walk, I'm going down here, I'm going over the park, whatever. Let them know. You know, I was looking at this and remembering what happened this summer to the young gal over in Evergreen and how sad that was. And you don't think in our county, in our area, that you have to worry about that sort of thing, but you do. I mean, that was like 2 miles down the road from where I live. I walk out there all the time. Kind of scary. So take precautions. Don't want you not to do it, but be smart about it. If you're wearing headsets, and I always like to listen to music, the beat helps you keep moving, helps you kind of keep up a pace. But you can have your headset in one ear and the other ear for listening. And then walking against oncoming traffic. I was at a meeting a couple weeks ago. We have a Safe Communities Coalition here in Fulton County. And we have police officers and highway patrol and are part of this coalition. And they were talking about a couple walking along the road and they got hit by a car. They happened to be walking with traffic. And it was early morning. The car didn't see them. He felt terrible that he hit. The woman was hurt worse than the man. I mean, it didn't kill them, but nevertheless, it was a nasty accident. And they said, well, they didn't want to walk in the grass because it was wet. So they were walking on the road. And I know, you don't want to get your feet all wet. But do walk with traffic coming at you. Don't walk with the traffic. Because then you can see who's coming, you can get over when necessary, avoid that accident. Reflective material or a flashlight. Now, when you get off work, it's dark at 5 o'clock already, so you really do need something so the cars can see you if you're walking out on the roads. Carry a whistle, a noisemaker, or pepper spray in case of an emergency. So all things to think about when you're going out for a walk. And before we get to questions, I do want to mention one thing that's new, kind of new, that we're offering. I don't have it ready to hand out yet, but I believe we're going to have it in health centering for winter session. We have personal training, either one-on-one or with a buddy, available at the rehab center. Now, a one-on-one, 1-hour session is $25 if you're a rehab center member, or $27.50 if you're not a member. But this is going to be half price to employees. So $12.50 and $13.75. I think that's right. For an hour session, or you can, if you do it with a buddy, it's $20, which would be $10 for employees, or $11.25 if you're not a member of the rehab. And this is if you buy a package of 10 sessions up front. And really, that's a good deal. So that would cost, for 10 sessions as a member of the rehab, would be $200. I'm sorry, $100 for an employee. For 10, first 1 hour personal training sessions. And in this, you would get a fitness assessment if you wanted it, where they would check your blood pressure, take your height, weight measurement, your height and weight. They would also do some testing of your muscular strength and endurance. You can also be tested for your cardiovascular or aerobic fitness, flexibility, body fat, resting heart rate, and then when you finish your sessions with the trainer, they'll test you again, see how you're doing, see what kind of progress you make. So, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. For $100, you get 10 sessions, hour sessions with a personal trainer. Something to think about, we're starting that, well, actually we have one person in it right now. But we are planning to, and it is available to the public, the general public as well. The price is not a price, but nevertheless, it's something that we are offering. So something to think about. We also, of course, have our lifestyle management training, which also does both exercise and diet with or Jill, one of the dietitians here. So you have a lot of opportunities here to work with professionals and find a program that works for you. Find someone who will keep you accountable, and really very, very low price. So think about that. And I will take your questions. Any questions? If not, you've got about 5 minutes to walk. Get part of it in today. Okay, well, thank you all. Appreciate it.